We all love that blast of cool air on a hot day, but we probably don't think too much about what it takes to make that happen. But behind the scenes, your air conditioner is basically an unsung hero, fighting this constant hidden battle. And that's especially true if you live in a tough coastal climate. So let's pull back the curtain on the secret war happening right in your backyard. It might sound a little over the top, but seriously, ask yourself, is my air conditioner secretly fighting a war? And you know what? In a lot of ways, the answer is a big yes. Every single day, it's under attack from forces you've probably never even thought about.
So let's dive into your AC's toughest battle. We're going to meet the invisible enemies it's up against, day in and day out.
Now, you'd think the main enemy is just the heat, right? But in coastal areas, the real problem is the environment itself. It's this unique mix of things that puts a crazy amount of stress on your system. And here are the attackers. We're talking about relentless, year-round humidity that makes your system pull gallons of water out of the air. Then you've got corrosive salt air that is literally eating away at the metal. Add in the threat of hurricanes, power surges, and all the debris they kick up, and that's just outside. Inside, you could have old, leaky ducts wasting cool air or coils getting choked by pollen and leaves. It's like a full-on assault from all sides.
So, how do you even know if your system is losing the fight? Well, it sends out these little distress signals. Let's move on and figure out how to decode those signals, the common problems that are basically your AC crying out for help.
First up, and this is a major one, refrigerant leaks. You can think of the refrigerant as the lifeblood of your air conditioner. If it's running low, the whole system just can't do its job right. And what's causing this? It's that corrosive salt air we were just talking about. It creates these tiny, almost invisible pinhole leaks in the copper lines. The telltale sign you'll notice is your AC running and running, but just pumping out warm air. Or you might even see ice building up on the outdoor unit. That's a classic symptom of low refrigerant.
All right, next on the list is a problem that comes directly from all that humidity, clogged drain lines. And in damp climates, this is an incredibly common headache.
So here's the deal. All that humidity creates the perfect little swamp for algae to grow inside the drain pipe. Once that pipe gets clogged, water has nowhere to go, it backs up, floods the drain pan, and can even start leaking. But here's the real kicker. Most new systems have a safety switch that will shut the entire system down to stop water damage. So 1 minute it's fine, the next, it's dead. All from a simple clog.
And we have got to talk about dirty coils. This is probably the #1 reason for bad performance and high energy bills, because it just forces the system to work way harder than it should.
Your outdoor unit basically acts like a giant magnet for salt, dirt, pollen, all of it. It builds up into this grimy blanket that chokes off the airflow. And how do you spot it? Well, the first clue is often a nasty surprise on your power bill when it suddenly spikes. And of course, you'll just notice that your house isn't getting as cool as it used to.
Okay, so we know the enemies. We know the warning signs. The good news? You're not helpless in this fight. Let's go over your 3 main lines of defense to protect your system and, your comfort.
This chart lays it out so clearly. Your first and absolute best defense is preventative maintenance. This is what you do proactively to stop problems before they even start. Your second line of defense is emergency repair. That's the reactive call you make when something breaks down. And the third is system replacement, which is the big strategic move you make when repairs just aren't worth the money anymore. Knowing which one you need is half the battle.
Now, whether you need maintenance or a full-on emergency rescue, having the right person in your corner is everything. So let's talk about how to find a local pro who can actually help you win this thing.
So here's your playbook. You want a pro who gives you honest diagnostics, someone who actually tests the parts instead of just trying to upsell you on a whole new system. They have to have local expertise. They need to get what salt air and humidity do to a unit around here. And of course, transparent, upfront pricing and a solid guarantee on their work. Those are completely non-negotiable.
And look, a professional service call should be simple, no stress. It starts with your call. Then they come out, give you a clear diagnosis and a firm price. After that, they do the repair. And finally, and this part is so important, they test everything to verify it's all working perfectly before they leave. No guesswork, no surprises. Simple as that.
All right, for our last section, let's run through a quick playbook for the smart homeowner. Just a rapid-fire guide to answer some of the most common questions you probably have.
First up, the big one. With all this talk about salt and humidity, how often do you really need to get your system checked out?
The answer couldn't be clearer. Twice a year. You do it once before summer really hits to make sure it's ready for prime time, and then again in the fall to clean it up and get it ready for the off-season. In a harsh climate, this isn't just a suggestion. It's pretty much essential if you want to avoid breakdowns. Okay, next question, air filters. They seem so simple, but picking the right one, especially in a place with tons of humidity and pollen, is actually a really big deal. So what's the best choice?
The sweet spot is a filter with what's called a MERV rating between 8 and 11. That range is strong enough to grab all that nasty pollen and mold, but it's not so thick that it chokes off the airflow, which can cause its own problems. It's really the perfect balance of good filtration and good performance.
And finally, the question that's on every single homeowner's mind. Given these brutal conditions, what's a realistic lifespan for an AC unit in a place like this?
You know, with proper maintenance, you can reasonably expect to get 10 to 15 years out of your unit. But that's the key phrase right there, with proper maintenance. If you skip that regular service, that lifespan could easily get cut in half. Maintenance really does make all the difference in the world.
So we'll end with this thought. Every single day, your air conditioner is out there working tirelessly to protect your home and your comfort from a pretty tough environment. The real question is, are you doing what it takes to protect it? Thanks for tuning in.